Hey folks, this is going to be a quick overview of the Rotoscope animation project. Rotoscoping can be done in almost any style, but as this Taylor Swift video shows, the original footage is the source for the traced footage, okay? So what we're going to do is set up a Photoshop document according to these instructions. We want to lock down our video layer so that we're not actually drawing on it. So using the HD TV 1080p preset, I've got that set up. You can crop it down to the size that you're working with if you want. I think if we hit the clear button here, it will let me kind of click and drag to crop however I want. But ultimately the video is not going to end up as part of our final product. So it doesn't matter really if you crop it or not, but I'll go ahead and crop it since that's what the instructions say. All right, and in the previous video, if you watched it earlier on the handout, I've moved my work area to 2 seconds because I recorded like a 20-second video clip of me rubbing my eyes and staring into the camera. So I need to lock this down. I don't want to draw on this layer by accident. What I want to do is go to Layer, Video Layer, and I'm asking for a new blank video layer. Okay, this blank video layer, this is what I'm going to draw on. And in fact, I can shorten it up to the work area. So you can see it's a 2 second and 1 frame duration. So I'll have to draw at 12 frames a second. I'll have to draw 24 individual drawings plus 1 extra frame. So 25 total drawings. That's doable. This layer here, layer 2, I'm going to rename Drawing. And that way I'll be reminded this is where I use my paintbrush. So I'm going to zoom in a touch, set up my paintbrush however I want it. I don't know that I want to use Kyle's Inkbox Classic Cartoonist, but I'm not opposed to it. Let me go ahead and do some quick tracing. And shrink this down. Now I would advise you guys use a Wacom tablet or XP pen tablet of some kind to make your life a little bit easier when it comes to tracing. I'm going to start by just kind of doing what we refer to in art as a contour line drawing. I'm not shading anything in, I'm simply drawing in the different lines that I see in the image. Okay. Right. Trace around my hand. And I'm working fast for the sake of everyone's attention span. Round off the shoulders. Cool. So I'm going to hide the video layer so you can see what that looks like. So I have a little bit more work to do on this frame because I did not define fully my nose. So I'm going to zoom in a touch. Again, shrink this brush down a little bit. Get the pertinent lines that are visible to my eye. There we go. Go ahead and do another take at the details in here. You know, if you want to give a hint to the hair that's present, you certainly can. But anything that you do, you want to kind of do that very consistently because you don't want to define something in one frame and then not define it in the other. So if I jump to the next frame, if I go forward 1 frame, now it's empty. I got to start tracing what I have here, and I want it to look consistent throughout. So one of the things I would recommend is don't worry about shading too much in your first pass. You can go back and add those levels of detail and it'll actually look pretty cool. But I would go through and just do a rough outline where, again, it's like a contour line drawing. If you see a line in the image, go ahead and represent it. Maybe you'll leave your eyebrows hollow. Maybe we'll go back and fill them in with a paint bucket later. Another thing that you may realize is working with all the repetitive steps that are required to do a rotoscope animation, you may realize it works better for you if you go through and define maybe the eyes in every single frame, then go back and define the mouth in every single frame. So I'm going to use the keyboard shortcuts that I enabled here at the burger bar. All right, if there's a check, then your shortcuts are enabled, and you can simply use the right and left arrows on your keyboard to advance to the different parts of the different frames in your animation. So for the sake of this video, I'm not going to draw all 24 frames and make you watch that. But what I am going to do is show you that you could draw all 24 frames of the eye first, and then go back and then do the rest of the nose. So while I'm zoomed in on this area, I think I'm going to go ahead and just focus on that for now. All right, because that method of working, I think, is going to allow me to be a little bit more consistent in how I represent the different contours of my face. Okay, so maybe I'll define what I can see here on my screen. And 1, 2, 3. I can see there's inconsistency here. It's just the first frame. Maybe I'll go back and fix it later. But believe it or not, it's going to be gone in fairly short order once the animation gets started. The other thing you can play around with is whether you would actually want a very deliberate difference in how you represent each frame. You have the ability to make artistic choices using creative license, because you may or may not want that consistency there. I think it's a good thing to go for consistency, but again, the thing that's going to tie this all together as an animation and make it look realistic is the fact that we are tracing video footage. Okay, unless you are very skilled at drawing, tracing video footage using the rotoscoping process is an excellent way to get started with creating realistic looking animation, because your source material is a video. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and give that a little double up and come back. There. Now at this point I could keep going and then do like a speed draw thing where you guys can watch me draw really small, really quickly, all sped up. I'm not going to bother with that. I think you guys can take that where we're going. What I will do is show you what the first few frames look like just with the eyes. Okay, so that's the technique. Again, I'm using the arrow keyboards keys to advance frame to frame to frame. And that's rotoscoping in a nutshell. It's a simple process, but it takes time. So each class that you come in to work on it, pick one feature and trace it. Go all the way through to the end, then you can go back and, if I realize I was zoomed in on the eyes for that first one, maybe I need to go back and get the nose for all of these. So I'll rewind to the beginning. Nose is good there. We'll do contour line tracing. Ooh, we have a fire alarm. Everyone stay calm. But that's it, folks.